Hey guys, Dan here with Tim, our special guest over Zoom. Hello, Tim.
Hi, everybody.
And Tim is all decked out. Usually, we see Tim for our Disney reviews, some of the more under the radar films. But today, we're going to talk about the biggest of the big, the Academy Awards. Tim is joining me for the annual Will Win and Should Win and the Oscar Snubs cast. So, Tim, let's dive into this. You saw, I think, almost everything in the categories we're going to talk about, except Another Round, right?
And White Tiger.
Oh, White Tiger. Okay. Did you see all five of the animateds?
Yes.
Ooh, okay. Very good. All right. Well, in my humble opinion, I think White Tiger will probably not win. So I think you're all right there. Another Round. We'll see what it does maybe for international feature, but I don't think that's probably going to win director. So I think you're going to be caught up.
Okay.
So let's start with the animated. Now, Tim, you and I have sort of talked throughout the year about all these things. I think we're going to have a lot of similar should wins, but I think our will wins could be different because I think there's a few categories up in the air.
Yeah, there's some.
Yeah. So for best animated feature, the nominees are Onward, Over the Moon, a Shaun the Sheep movie, Farmageddon, Soul, and Wolfwalkers. And for me, one of the best films of the entire year, animated or otherwise, is Soul. I think it definitely should win this category. And I think it probably will. I think maybe Wolfwalkers could upset it, but I think Soul is definitely going to win this one.
Yeah, Soul should win, and I think it will win as well. Like you said, Wolfwalkers, it did win like the indie category at the Annie Awards just last week or so. So that's its biggest competition is Wolfwalkers.
Yeah, it's definitely won some of the major awards in like more sort of independent circles, I guess. And in terms of snubs, I mean, because of COVID, there wasn't really a whole lot of animated movies released. I think the only ones I saw were Scooby-Doo and The Croods, and that might be it. Is there one I'm forgetting?
Trolls World Tour, that came out. Yeah.
How could I forget Trolls World Tour? Yes, horrible movie.
And honestly, I don't think Over the Moon is that great. I would replace that with anything, but there isn't anything to replace it with.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think my Over the Moon grade was like a C+. I definitely gave The Croods a higher grade than that. So I mean, Golden Globes had The Croods up there.
Yeah.
So I think you could put The Croods up there, but I don't think at the end of the day, I don't think it really matters that much.
Yeah. Yeah. And I am a fan of Onward. You are not. I think you should give it another watch because the world building in that is very great. I think it's a better world building than Soul because Soul does feel a little inside out-ish. But I thought the world building of Onward was a little bit better. The story is a quest, which isn't that original because there's so many quest movies. But I do think Onward is a great movie. Just giving it a little shout out there. It shouldn't beat Soul, but I just want to give it a little love.
If I remember, I did think one of my issues with Onward was that Pixar always does the like quest movies, but also I guess I watched it like the second week of COVID, so I was probably like in a bad mood and I was just upset at the world. So who knows? Maybe I will give it another shot. Probably not before the Oscars come on, but but yes, I know I'm kind of in the minority. People do love Onward,
and why we're giving of Shaun the Sheep, Farmageddon is also a very cute movie. You should also see that.
Oh yeah, I love that Shaun the Sheep. That was good. All right, so let's move to the original and adapted screenplays. We'll sort of lump these together. So for adapted, you had Borat, subsequent movie film, which is kind of crazy, but The Father, Nomadland, One Night in Miami, and The White Tiger. And then for original, you've got Judas and the Black Messiah, Minari, Promising Young Woman, The Sound of Metal, and The Trial of the Chicago 7. Tim, why don't you go first? What do you think will win and should win these categories?
Well, before we talk about that, I'm confused of how Borat subsequent movie film is an adapted screenplay.
Because It's the same stupid reason. Was it Whiplash that was like it was some guy's 6-minute like short demo film to pitch the movie, and then they were like, well, that existed already. So
Oh,
I
okay.
think it's like that. I think it's because the Borat character existed already. It goes and adapted.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit wonky for sure.
Well, I mean, adapted, it honestly, I feel like anything could possibly win besides White Tiger because I haven't seen that. Um, I I honestly think Nomadland is the best movie here out of those, but I don't think it should win adapted screenplay because a lot of that was improv. Like it was just people telling their own stories. So I mean, it wasn't really much script, I feel like. So I don't think it should win. I think One Night in Miami should win, but I actually think The Father will win.
Okay. I agree with you on Nomadland. It's curious to me that that's up there. I know they're trying to give Nomadland every, nomination possible, but yes, in terms of, I agree, of these 5, it's the best. Well, no, I guess I gave One Night in Miami an A+, and I only gave Nomadland an A. So I guess, no, I'm sorry. I gave them both A+. So, all right, Nomadland could be the best one up there, but I agree. I don't think it deserves to win. I think it might. But usually screenplay is one of the categories where they'll throw people a bone, like Grand Budapest, I think. Didn't that win the one year?
I think so.
Like it was nominated for 8 things, and they're like, well, I guess we'll give Wes Anderson this one. And Tarantino wins a lot of screenplays. I think because it probably won't win much else. I agree that The Father probably will win. And for should win, yeah, I think it's between those two, The Father and One Night in Miami. I guess because I gave it a higher grade, and the script was a big part of that. I guess One Night in Miami, I agree with you, should win.
For original, I have, I think Promising Young Woman will win. I actually think it should win as well. I think Trial of the Chicago 7 could win. It did win at the Golden Globes, I believe, but that's the only thing that it has won at. So I really think it will be Promising Young Woman. As far as snubs, I do have a snub on here. I thought Palm Springs was a great movie. I thought it was very original. I think it should be have a nomination here, and I would take Minari out.
All right. Well, I am with you on some of these. I did like Palm Springs. I've been thinking about rewatching that because I think I gave it a B+, and I feel like that's too low. People love that movie.
Yeah, well, I also love time travel movies, so I think that might be why I loved it so much. But I think it's also a really good movie.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, it's weird. I guess if you've got Borat as adapted because the characters existed, right? Why wouldn't Trial of Chicago 7 also be adapted because it's adapted from true events? But whatever, I guess it's a little weird. So I would also take Minari out. I actually would fill that with Soul. However,
okay.
I know animated doesn't usually get much love outside of the animated category, but every so often they'll put one of the screenplays in there. I think maybe Inside Out was up for screenplay.
Maybe.
Yeah. But in terms of winning, I think if we're going with the same theme of, well, they're going to give one award to something, it might be this. I actually think Chicago 7 is going to win this. People love Aaron Sorkin. I think it could win one of the smaller categories. It's up to like editing or something, but I think screenplay is its strongest chance at winning something. And I probably would say, as for should win, yeah, it's between Chicago 7 and Promising Young Woman. I guess because it's more original, I would say Promising Young Woman should win.
Yeah, and I mean, I also am using that logic as well because I mean that's nominated for a bunch of stuff as well. It's nominated for Best Director, Best Picture as well, Best Actress. So maybe that will be the only place that it wins as well.
Yeah, maybe we do have it coming up in several categories we're going to talk about. I think I have it winning something else as well. but certainly debatable. So let's get to the supporting categories. And you've got for supporting actor, you've got Sacha Baron Cohen in The Chicago 7, Daniel Kaluuya for Judas and the Black Messiah, Leslie Odom Jr., One Night in Miami, Paul Raci, I believe it is, for Sound of Metal, and Lakeith Stanfield for Judas and the Black Messiah. This, I think, is just a weird category because I don't think the Judas and the Black Messiah guys should both be in supporting. I understand why they did that.
No, what happened was Lakeith Stanfield actually was gunning for lead actor, but the Academy can put them wherever they want based off those stuff. So unlike other awards where, like, if you campaign for best actor, that's where you're stuck. But based off votes and stuff, they can move you around. So they actually, he campaigned for lead actor, and Daniel Kaluuya campaigned for supporting actor.
No kidding. Well, I didn't know that. That's news to me. So what happened with Viola Davis then?
I think she campaigned.
She campaigned for supporting, right?
And then they just kept her there. But it's not the first time that they've moved someone around. It doesn't happen that often, but they did it for this.
All right. So here's what I would do. Here's my snub. Because I think you should take, well, I mean, if they're both there, I guess they're both there already.
This is what I did for my snub. I moved Lakeith Stanfield back up to best actor. I moved someone from there, and I put Eli Gorey from One Night in Miami.
Oh, all right. Now, see, that makes sense that they would both be in the supporting category, him and Leslie Odom.
Yeah,
that makes total sense to me. I think Chicago 7 also has a lot of really good actors in it, not just Sacha Baron Cohen. I think you could have put another one of them in supporting. Oddly, the one that I hate normally, what's his name? Stephen Hawking.
Eddie
Redmayne, I thought was great in the Chicago 7, which I think for me is saying something. So I would have maybe put him in for supporting actor. And I also maybe would have put somebody from Tenet in supporting actor. I guess not Twilight, because he's the lead actor, I suppose.
No,
or do you think he was supporting?
I think he would be supporting. I think Robert Pattinson would be supporting in that. And then Denzel's
Washington. Yeah. Well, all right, that's good. Okay, that's good, because I thought Washington was giving a lesser performance. I thought Robert Pattinson was excellent in Tenet. So yeah. If we could break up Judas and the Black Messiah, I would either put Robert Pattinson in there or maybe Eddie Redmayne from the Chicago 7. In terms of who I think will and should win, I think in both cases of these 5, it's going to be Daniel Kaluuya. I think he deserves it. I do wish him and Stanfield were broken up a little bit, but I think in either category Stanfield would be in. I don't think he would win amongst this year's nominees. So yeah. I would give it to Kaluuya.
Yeah, I think he will win as well. And honestly, I know he campaigned for supporting, but I feel like both of them are lead actors, and I would actually say that both of them should be competing in lead. So I think the person that should win is Paul Raci from Sound of Metal.
Yes,
but he's not going to.
He's not going to. Viewers of my channel know, and I'm sure you're sick of hearing about it, Tim. Sound of Metal is my favorite movie of the year, instant A+. And I don't know this guy at all, but apparently he's been in the industry for like 20 years. So good for him. But yes, I agree. He does not stand a chance, unfortunately, with this category. All right. So up next is supporting actress, and that's Maria Bakalova for Borat subsequent movie film, Glenn Close, Hillbilly Elegy, Olivia Colman for The Father, Amanda Seyfried for Mank, and Yoo Jung-yoon for Minari. For this category, I don't really have any snubs. I think this is probably the most reasonable category there is.
You don't think Jodie Foster should be in there?
Yeah, the Mauritanian, that was very good. I don't know who to take out though, because here's the problem. Like all of these, I mean, Amanda Seyfried, I know Mank was pretty stupid and horrible. But she was okay in it. Yeah, I guess Jodie Foster would deserve it more than Amanda Seyfried. You're right.
Yeah.
The gal from Minari, even though that wasn't my favorite, I thought she was very good. Yeah, okay, no, you're right. Jodie Foster, she won the Globe, obviously, for supporting actress. So maybe she should be up there instead of Amanda Seyfried's definitely the one I would kick out of those five.
Yeah, I would kick her out as well, but I know the Academy wouldn't. So I think it maybe click out Glenn Close because LJ, she's the best part of that, but the movie isn't that great.
Well, okay, so it's interesting you say that because I am really torn on who's going to win because I don't think anybody was such a standout that they're like a front runner here. So my guess would be either Olivia Colman for The Father will win, but she just won recently for The Favorite, so maybe not. Glenn Close has famously never won, so I wonder if this is just her year. I know the movie wasn't very well received, but I mean, Meryl Streep won for The Iron Lady, and that wasn't very well received either. So I don't know. I think my will is Glenn Close, and my should is definitely Olivia Colman.
I actually have different opinion than you. I think Yoon Jung-yoon will win from Minari, and I think she might. I think she should. Based
she was great.
She was great. I mean, and she has a lot of momentum going in because she just won a BAFTA for it. So I think that will help her, and I think she will win.
Wow. Okay, and you think she should as well?
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
you love a good hillbilly elegy, though.
Glenn Close was good. Olivia Colman was good as well. I mean, all of them should win. I mean, it's hard to pick. I mean, but I would say that Yoon Jung-yoon will and should slightly above the other two.
Okay. And we didn't really mention her other than the nomination itself, but Maria Bakalova did do a great job in Borat. I think, that's obvious. But yeah, it's funny. Entertainment Weekly picked her to win, and I just don't see that happening.
No, I thought she had a good. Did she win at the Globes?
No. She did, but they split it. Don't they split it in the comedy? And
oh yeah,
no. Maybe supporting. They don't. I don't remember. No,
she wasn't supporting. She was lead for a comedy.
That's what it was. She won for best lead in a comedy. You're right.
Yeah.
Which probably should have gone to Kristen Milioti, but that's another episode. Yeah. All right, so let's do the actors and the actresses. Let's talk actress first, since we're sticking with that. I think this is the one I was thinking, not supporting, because you're right, Amanda Seyfried can go. This is the one that I was thinking all of these are perfect. These are the 5 for me, best performances, female of the year. Viola Davis for Ma Rainey, Andra Day, bad movie, but excellent performance. United States versus Billie Holiday. Vanessa Kirby, Pieces of a Woman. Frances McDormand, Nomadland. Carey Mulligan, Promising Young Woman. I mean, there's nobody to toss out of that.
Yeah. No snubs. And for could win, I say any of them could win.
Yeah, I agree. Andra Day really surprised me at the Golden Globes. I had just seen that movie like that weekend or something, and I was very shocked. I mean, it's an amazing performance.
Yeah.
But, compared to some of these other women who have been in the biz for a long, long time, yeah, I mean, I think it's between Viola Davis and Carey Mulligan, because I think Frances McDormand, she's already won a couple of times, but Viola always has good momentum, and Carey Mulligan, I mean, this is a star-making turn for her. People that have never heard of her before know her now. She hosted SNL a few months ago. I mean, I think she probably will win. And I'd say of these 5, she probably should.
I'm going a different route.
Okay.
I think Frances McDormand will win for Nomadland. Wow. Nomadland has such big, momentum going into this.
Yeah.
Thing. It's just a powerhouse. It's won so many awards. It's won the most awards from any movie ever, like for all the award shows.
Oh, is that right?
I think so. Just because it's winning best director, picture, it's winning actress, it's winning everything. So
and it is her movie. I mean, she's far and away, the main person, in about every scene. So, all right. Well, who do you think should win?
I actually think Vanessa Kirby should win. I think that performance is probably the best out of this. I don't think she will win. But I mean, she could win, and I think she should. I think that is just such an emotional performance, and I'm never going to watch that movie ever again. But it's heartbreaking.
That opening scene was very intense.
Yeah. So because I mean, honestly, the reason why I say that she should win is because I know, besides Andra Day, but I knew Carey Mulligan, I knew Viola Davis, I know Frances McDormand. I knew Vanessa Kirby a little bit from one movie, and that's the horrible Fast and Furious Hobbs and Shaw movie. She was in that.
Oh, God.
I didn't think she was bad in that movie, but I mean, to take someone from like this action movie and put her in this like soul stripping role, I was just like, yeah. So I think she should win. I don't think she will win. I think there's an outside chance that she could win, but I think it's going to go to Frances McDormand.
I think you said it best. I mean, this could go to literally anyone. This is the only category of the whole night, I think, that really is completely up in the air.
Yeah. And honestly, the person I want to win the most is your pick. I want Carey Mulligan to win. I think that's probably my favorite movie out of the best pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I would want her to win the most, but it's just such a toss up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think all of them gave amazing performances. And then the actors, I'm not sure if you could say the same, but you've got some good ones here. Riz Ahmed for Sound of Metal, Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey, Anthony Hopkins for The Father, Gary Oldman for Mank, and Steven Yeun for Minari. I think, Steven Yeun, he's fine, but I say get rid of him. My snub for this would be that dude from The Mauritanian. Yeah.
I for my list, I took out Steven Yeun. I put in the guy from Mauritanian, Tahar Rami, and then I also took out Gary Oldman. I mean, I think his performance is great, but it's not my favorite movie. And I put Lakeith Stanfield in here because I think he should be in the lead category.
Well, okay, that's true. Yes, if we're shuffling around the Judas people, yes, Lakeith should be here, and Tahir Rahim should be here, and Steven Yeun does not have to be. And I agree. I mean, look, you and I and many people just find Mank so boring and so overblown, and it's just so Oscar baity. It's just annoying that cinematography, fine, film editing, whatever, some of the things it got nominated for, okay, but it's just such a blah movie compared to so many other things that came out this year.
Yeah, I'll give it. Gary Oldman did a great performance, but I mean, is it Darkest Hours level? No.
And that's the thing. Gary Oldman never gives a bad performance, so of course it's a great performance.
Yeah.
But I think Chadwick Boseman will win. I think in another year, if he were still alive, I think he probably would still be the favorite. But I think Anthony Hopkins might have won if Chadwick Boseman was still with us. I think this will definitely be a sentimental vote, although his performance in Ma Rainey was excellent.
It's my favorite part of the movie. I for a while, like when I watched that movie, I was like, oh, he's doing a good performance. It's okay, but like I wasn't really sure what all the buzz was. But that final scene was just like, that's what pushes it over the edge. But I agree with you that Anthony Hopkins could win, but I do think that Chadwick Boseman should win, and he will win.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty easy one, I think, from the ones we're talking about. Although, speaking of Chadwick Boseman, I did at one point have written down for supporting actor, the only good thing about The Five Bloods, I thought, other than Chadwick Boseman, was that great performance from Delroy Lindo. And if you could have put him maybe in actor as well instead of Stephen Yeun, or even in supporting actor, I don't know where they would put him, but I thought Delroy Lindo was the only really good part about that movie.
I haven't seen that movie, so I cannot comment on that, but I do know that on a bunch of snub lists I looked up the other day, he was on there for, I think, lead actor.
Okay, yeah, I guess I would put him in lead, but yeah, you could kick Oldman and Stephen Yeun out and still have any of the two we mentioned on there.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go to you first for Best Director. You have Lee Isaac Chung for Minari, Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman, David Fincher for Mank, Thomas Wittenberg for Another Round, which I know you didn't see, and then Chloe Zhao for Nomadland. What are your picks? What are your snubs?
Okay. Well, I did try to watch Another Round last night, but for some reason I couldn't figure out Hulu, and it wasn't pulling up captions. And I was like, "What's going on? This movie's in a different language. I can't watch."
Foreign film, yeah.
So I did watch probably like maybe 10 minutes of it to kind of feel like what the style of direction was.
Okay.
I didn't really think it was anything to really do write home about. I mean, but honestly, I'm only watching 10 minutes and I don't really understand what's going on because I can't understand what the people are saying. So
that's fair.
For my snubs, I have two. I think Regina King should have been nominated for One Night in Miami. I also think Shaka King for Judas and the Black Messiah as well. I would have taken out Another Round, Thomas Vinterberg and David Fincher for Mank. If I can only take out one because I've only seen one, I would put in Regina King for One Night in Miami.
Yeah, this one, you could take out several people. I mean, I'm surprised Aaron Sorkin wasn't nominated for Chicago 7. And then all the ones you said. Certainly, Regina King is my number one snub. In almost, I think, the whole year of Oscars. I think Regina King not getting Best Director is a huge snub. One Night in Miami is a great movie. But yeah, I mean, Judas and the Black Messiah deserves to be in there as well. I agree with you, and I did watch the whole movie, Another Round. It's good. It's fine. I am going to put a review up for it because I did watch it last week, but I don't think he deserves to be Best Director in this company. And then David Fincher for Mank. I mean, it's such a given that he was going to be nominated, but I think Chicago 7, Regina King, Judas and the Black Messiah all deserve it more than those.
Yeah. So person I have will win and should win is Chloe Zhao for Nomadland.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of should win, I'm sort of between this and Emerald Fennell, but there's no doubt in my mind Chloe Zhao will win. And I would say she probably should win as well. She probably deserves it over Emerald Fennell. Although Promising Young Woman, as you mentioned, excellent movie.
Yes.
We'll discuss it another second here in Best Picture, but I think those are the only two of the five that really even come close to deserving it. Yeah.
And the Oscars missed out on a chance to have 3 female nominations. There was 3 for the Globes. I thought it was a lock to have 3 for the Oscars, and they just really missed that.
Yeah, really dropped that ball. Do they not like actors turn directors? Because remember the big Ben Affleck hubbub too for Argo.
Yeah.
Maybe they have issue with that. I don't know. All right. So Best Picture. And this is where we can actually add to without losing any because of their stupid rules that they can have up to 10 and they only nominated 8 this year. But you've got The Father, Judas and the Black Messiah, Mank, Minari, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and The Trial of the Chicago 7. I think most people can probably figure out by now that I would kick out Mank and Minari as well, maybe from this list. I think One Night in Miami definitely deserves it. Other than that, I don't really care. I just think Mank doesn't deserve it. But I would put Soul in there as well. And I'm surprised Ma Rainey's Black Bottom didn't get the nomination either. So I would put 3 of those in and take out Mank.
I would put in those 3 as well, take out Mank, and I would take out Minari, and I would put in my favorite, Palm Springs.
Yeah, I remember years ago they used to put comedies and romance movies in Best Picture. Now it's
Yeah.
all like pressing stuff every year. It's too much. Palm Springs was a feel good movie at a time when we needed it with COVID. I am shocked at the Golden Globes, noticed it in some categories, but yeah, no
Yeah.
Academy love at all.
Yeah.
So who do you think should win and who do you think will win for Best Picture?
Well, I think will win. I think it's Nomadland. I feel like that's the momentum that's going. But I mean, in the past, that hasn't always worked out. I mean, was it 1917 had all the momentum going in last year, and then all of a sudden,
Parasite.
and
Well, and even La La Land, Moonlight. I mean,
yeah,
it did go to La La Land for 30 seconds, but I think everybody assumed that was probably going to be the
yeah.
case, and then Moonlight took it.
So I think that's the lock of will win. Should win. I wasn't a big fan of it. I think it's a good movie. It's a great movie. If it wins, it wins. I wish there was a little bit more of a story arc to go with it, because I understand that that's kind of what they're going for. Is it's kind of just like embracing the nomad life, and that's the type of movie you get. That it's like just wandering a little bit, but I would say that either for the time period that we're living in for 2020, I think either Trial of the Chicago 7 or Judas and the Black Messiah should win.
Okay, that's yeah. I mean, those are both fine choices. Although speaking of the time we live in, I think Promising Young Woman speaks to a lot of that as well.
Yeah, and honestly, that's my favorite. I want that to win, but anytime I pick my favorite, it never. So.
So for me, I agree. I think Nomadland is almost a lock. I think it will be a real upset if it doesn't win. Personally, my favorite movie of the year, I'll say it one more time, is Sound of Metal. I think it deserves it over any of these movies. But honestly, I think you and I are on the same page. As long as Mank or Minari doesn't win, I think we're fine with any of the results.
Yeah, and I mean, The Father's
Minari's okay.
Yeah, Minari's great. It's a good movie. I was a little disappointed in it because I was expecting more because it was nominated for Best Picture, and I was like, oh, it's up there with this caliber of films, and it just didn't quite make it. And I knew Mank was going to be a snooze fest for me to get through the making of the movie that I cannot finish watching, Citizen Kane, and I've tried watching it probably 3 times. I always fall asleep, and I'm just like, okay.
Just once for me, and that was enough.
Yeah.
But so I never either.
I would be happy with any of them. I think The Father has a really outside chance. Like, it's probably the lowest, but I would say Promising Young Woman, Chicago, Trial of the Chicago 7, Judas and Black Messiah, and Nomadland are probably the top 4 that have a shot at it.
Yeah, I would agree. I think Sound of Metal is more in the like Hidden Figures camp, or it's a movie that people enjoy, but nobody really expects it to win anything. But I remember talking about it when it first came out and really wondering, like, is the Academy going to overlook this amazing movie? And at least they nominated it for many things. I think it will win sound.
Yeah,
I think that makes sense. But yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be probably Nomadland, is top. And I would say maybe Chicago 7 and Judas are right there below it, and The Promising Young Woman and The Father right below that. But I think any of those have an outside chance of winning. But I think it's Nomadland.
And honestly, I think for Sound of Metal, it was probably the best year for it to come out, because I think in a different year, when you have so many more movies, I think it would have been brushed on the rug and overlooked.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Well, go ahead.
It is a great movie, and I'm glad it got nominated, because then other people are going to see it, and it gets the word out.
Yeah, I mean, so many more people have seen it now. I mean, I saw it opening weekend, I think, on Amazon, so I could review it. But yeah, I'm glad so many people now are watching it. All right, so I will have one more 2020 review video to do, which is the last 3 nominees we didn't review yet, which is Pinocchio, Love and Monsters, and Another Round. And then there's 2 other movies I saw, after the Golden Globes came out that were getting a little awards buzz. That's First Cow and Malcolm and Marie. So I'm going to review all those in one video. And then I guess I'll do my best of 2020. I never actually came up with my top 10. So that might be a fun one to get a few people on board to do. But Tim, thank you for joining for the Oscars. This was fun.
You're welcome. Everybody in on Sunday night to see who wins.
Yeah, see how many we each got right.
Yeah.
All right, take care, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye.